Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video, and in this video we're going to be checking out Andre, who is going to be the tough challenge run reward character. Visually on the right hand side we can see he is pretty get up. I like his look, it's kind of clean cut, he's got some armor on, he's holding a shotgun but he's got so many grenades. He's also got a pistol on his side as you can see, but he looks pretty cool. I like it. He's got a hat on. On the left hand side we can see he's also got some dynamite tucked away. I can't see it on the right hand side, but he's got some dynamite tucked away, and he does look like some sort of demolitions expert. You kind of see it with the armor he's got on. It goes up quite high on the neck, and I think they kind of have this sort of thing with demolition experts, right? I don't think this is the full on bodysuit which I've seen in some movies and stuff, but yeah, it seems like a kind of mini on the go sort of thing. But look at all the grenades. It's a shame he's not going to be using them. That would actually be really cool if she's throwing grenades at the enemies. We'll check out the stats though. Level 600, limit break 2. He has got 15,257 attack, 16,800 base defense, and 15,357 HP. He is a tough character, of course, considered a support character. He is a mythic character, and again, another character who is part of the challenge run allegiance, making it the fourth and final, for the moment, character for this allegiance. Now, Andre does have an adrenaline rush, and it is a 55 AP cost rush, and it is called Spray and Pray. Spray and Pray with a shotgun. Maybe he should have been holding a rifle, maybe, I don't know. Deal 250% damage to up to 5 enemies. This character gets 50% bonus HP. This is actually pretty decent. You know, it's going to clear lots of Guardian Shields. This character is more of a defense team character, and it will clear Guardian Shields on attack teams, and it will give him huge amounts of bonus HP. I think this character is going to be, you know, quite a balanced character towards defense and HP, but a bit more towards HP. And it's going to be, you know, somewhere in the region of 25 to 30,000 HP that he's going to be receiving with this rush. So, yeah, pretty decent. I don't expect the rush to be there to be doing much damage. 250% is decent, but I don't think you're going to raise his attack stat too much. But then again, there could be like a leader or a character that comes out that has like a attack buff on defense teams, and it could boost this quite heavily, and the potential output could be good. You know, against alert characters on attack teams especially, he could be quite dangerous. Okay, so here we have Andre's rush up, and as you can see, there's lots of Guardian Shields up. This is what he's going to face when he's on a defense team, and because he doesn't have to target a particular character, it just will hit everybody. It's just going to remove all of those Guardian Shields. It's going to be really, really basic, but really nice. It doesn't seem that great, but as you know, Guardian Shields are really powerful on attack teams. They stop AP gain on the defense team characters, and they keep your characters alive more importantly. So, you know, him removing all of those is nice. Him getting a 50% boost in whatever his max HP is. Right now it's only 15,000 because it's his base HP. But you get that boosted up to 50k. That's a 25,000 bonus HP boost. Very nice indeed. And I like this rush quite a lot, as much as it is very, very basic. And it doesn't actually take that much to get it as good as it really can get. At grade 2, you get the 25% bonus HP boost, so it goes from 25% to 50%. At grade 4, you get 2 extra damaged enemies, and that is enough to get everyone on the defense or attack team, you know, hit. Depends when you use him. You could potentially use him on certain stages in other game modes potentially. Limit break 1 is the first big upgrade, and it only gives him a damage boost, which I guess will be nice if he, you know, you actually want to do some damage, but it isn't a big requirement. So he will be kind of ready out of the box, you know, grade 4, grade 5, compared to, you know, some of the other challenge run characters when it comes to their rush. This rush does sort of kind of feel like underwhelming though, even though I think it is pretty decent. So I would potentially expect a limit break 3 upgrade to come in here, potentially tacking something on at the end, or maybe even a bigger bonus HP boost when he actually gets this off. Now, Andre does have a signature move, and it is called Recovery Shot. It has got an initial cooldown of turn 2, cooldown of 2 turns, number of uses unlimited, attack 1 enemy for 150% damage. This character recovers from all penalties. Now, this is actually nice as well. It's going to do a little bit of damage again. You could potentially say it would have been better if he just did this, and potentially would have been cool if he did something else like more bonus HP, or, you know, some sort of self-sustain, because he is quite a tanky character for sure. But he's going to do some damage. It's going to be focus damage 1 character. He will probably focus some alert characters over anything else. But the full cleanse is nice. Obviously, he has to be able to do this to be able to actually, you know, cleanse himself. So if he's dazed, he won't be able to do this. And if he's stunned, he won't be able to do this. If he is taunted or confused, as long as if you have focus, he'll still be able to do this. So they're the only things that will slow this down. But yeah, full cleanse is nice. Burn, bleed, and depending on what teams he's on, that won't be much of an issue anyway. But like defense down, you know, anything that can impact him, even like infection, any recovery, anything that's negative, doesn't matter whether it's debilitating where it actually stops him from doing certain parts of his kit, or whether it's potential like just a negating factor when it comes to like defense down, attack down, everything gets removed. Okay, this is just a test to see how many negative effects we can get on this character. Heal reduction, bleed, disarm, burn. I think we're also going to be able to get maim. And so that's a few. That's a few to say the least. And we'll get round to his turn. I think he'll be able to survive to his turn. See you later, Jeremiah. He should be able to survive. So like the next turn, he would be taken out. He would be taken out. We'll hit the defend actions. So the next turn, he would be taken out by the burn and the bleed and stuff. However, he does his signature move, and everything gets cleansed. Absolutely everything gets cleansed here. And this is what he can bring to the table when it comes to his self-sustain. So very self-sufficient. Doesn't look to be doing much for anyone else though. At least he doesn't look to be doing anything for anyone else so far. But it is quite obvious where the gap is with his kit. He needs someone else to heal him back up. If he's going to take that sort of damage, he does need some help. The bonus HP is going to be nice, but he could potentially be susceptible to burn and bleed if he is not on a Tara team. We'll look at the upgrades on this signature move, and you can see grade 3, it gets -1 cooldown, so it goes from a 4-turn cooldown to a 3-turn cooldown. At grade 5, the starting cooldown gets reduced from 3 to 2, and at limit break 2, it goes from a cooldown of 3 to 2. This is actually quite important, so it's going to be quite a long time until you do manage to get him to a 2-turn cooldown. But the first time this goes off, it's still going to be powerful. If he gets this off on a defense team, he's generally going to remove some nasty stuff potentially, and he's going to keep himself alive, or more likely to anyway. So it going off just once is pretty reasonable. He will need the AP, however, on the cooldown when it comes back around to get his rush naturally. So until he gets to limit break 2, he will kind of like fall out of sync with the natural rush potential. I would still say it's worth just ignoring AP on attack on the weapon and just going for full stats because his rush is 55 AP, and relying on other elements within his kit and hope basically that he's going to get attacked somehow. Now, other elements in his kit that he could be reliant on and also could be good for his teammates are his mythic abilities. These are his passive skills, and we can see he has got cunning, and this is pretty good. It's going to limit weapon potential, control, double attack, these sort of things. It's going to be nice when attacking or being attacked, 30% less likely to trigger enemy weapon effects and walker effects. This is actually pretty decent. Cunning is one of the more annoying ones for sure. And the next one is called Solid Start. At the start of each wave, this character gets 30% bonus HP. You might have seen that in the clips before where he was just sitting at the beginning of the fight with like a bit of bonus HP. That is because of this. That is actually really nice. All tough teammates get 45% defense. This, I wasn't sure if it was going to be a speech bubble boost or if it was just going to be a plain boost once it gets into the fight. It's actually a pre-fight boost. It buffs people on the roster screen, kind of like 1535s. So he gets a massive defense boost off of the start, and he gets a big HP boost effectively because of the bonus HP on this as well. So he gets big boosts to his defensive stats, which is really nice. Next up is Help Up. When triggering the Payback specialist skill, as you see he is a Payback specialist, revive one teammate with 40% of their max HP. This isn't about taking them out. A lot of characters is like, if you take this character out, 40% something will happen. This is a guarantee that if someone is down and not decapped, if it triggers the payback, not that he doesn't necessarily have to be taken out, it has a 100% chance to revive a teammate with 40% of their max HP. I did say he doesn't do much for his teammates, but this is actually pretty good. Now, before I show you how the revive stuff works, we'll just look at his stats. This is him with his base stats, and you can see his defense gets boosted up to 24.3k from 16.8 just because of that 45% boost. This is going to happen to all tough characters. Like I said, it works exactly like 1535s. So any tough characters on the defense team, you think like Tara Lead, Uncle Sam, Cliff, the recently released Davy, all these characters are going to get boosted defense. And if those teams weren't hard or ready to kill because they're taking no bleed and burn damage, even less potential to take them out now with this sort of character in the lineup because of the percentage damage reduction on them. Okay, so we're going to attack this team and we're going to make it nice and easy. We're going to have a couple of characters able to be revived, and we're going to foolishly trigger this guy's payback with signature moves from Lydia and Rosita. They have got those reasonably heavy hitting signature moves. They shouldn't take him out, they shouldn't do that much damage, but they're going to still be impactful enough that they should proc his payback. As you see, 12,000 damage comes in, reflect comes back, you know how payback works, and we have a character get picked up with 40% of their max HP. 40% is pretty simple. For every 10,000 max HP they have, they'll have 4,000 HP healed when they get picked up. 40,000 max HP, 16,000 HP when they get picked up. It's going to be an actual pretty decent amount here. If we go with Rosita now, we're going to proc it again. Foolishly, we didn't learn our lesson the first time around. We've taken out some of our characters. That's how payback works. But it also picks up another character. We've got to be very careful with how we deal with someone like Andre here. And one of the biggest issues, as you guys know, when it comes to Tara defense teams is damage over time doesn't work. And that's generally how you would deal with a payback character. There's some damage over time, you're not doing percentage damage, but what choice do you have now? Infection? He can cleanse that. It's going to be interesting. So we'll check out the upgrades for his mythic abilities, and you can see he gets the first half of Solid Start at grade 1, the first half of Cunning at grade 2, the first half of Sturdy Advantage at grade 3, and the second half of Solid Start at grade 4. This is where you can get 1 gold mythic, and he's going to get all that bonus HP at the start, which is actually pretty decent. When you get that second gold mythic, he's going to get the entirety of Help Up. So once he's a grade 5, he's going to have that full 40% max HP revive potential once Payback Specialist does actually trigger, which is actually pretty decent. Limit Break 1, he's going to get Cunning 2. And that stacks with Cunning 1, obviously, like we said. It's going to stop those weapon procs. He's going to be hard to control as well, which is going to be very, very interesting. Lastly, he was going to have Sturdy Advantage 2, and that's the second half of all tough teammates getting the actual defense bonus. But at least you're going to have that 30% boost up until Limit Break 2. I think 45% is obviously really, really powerful, but you're not going to get that for quite a while. But initially 30%, yeah, still good. So this guy gets some of the major parts of his passive upgrades in the very early stages. Grade 4 and grade 5, you're going to have a very, very powerful character here. If teamed up with someone who can actually keep him up, and especially if you've got a Tara leader, I'm not really sure what we're going to have to do here. I think Infection is going to have to be the way to go. But like I said, he's going to be able to cleanse that. Now lastly, we'll just take a look at his specialist skill. You saw it proccing in the clips before, so I don't have to show you how it works. If this character were to take more than 30% of their max HP in a single rush, active or signature skill, deal that same damage back to the attacker and up to 2 additional enemies. But because of how specialists work in the Mythic era, it also does some other stuff. And as we saw, if you proc this, it also will revive a character. Very, very interesting. Completely changes the dynamic here of Payback. You know, imagine if it's like, even if that was just a specialist skill just by itself, if you did 30% damage to a character, he just revived a teammate. That alone would be tough. But he's also wrecking you with effectively the 3 character reflect, and deciding, hey, you know, I'm going to pick up a character as well. That is actually a really interesting combo. Very interesting. Decap's going to be extremely important for his teammates. And like I said, I don't know how you're going to deal with this character. I don't know how you're going to deal with this character. Burn Bleed on Tara teams doesn't work. Infection, he can cleanse it himself. Tara teams also going to have fast healing weapons. Percentage damage, you're going to have to basic attack him down. You can't control him with weapons very easily, because he's cunning. You know, he's got cunning. Yeah, I think this character is actually going to be extremely powerful on the defense team. I think he's going to be like that kind of sleeper, you know, character where some people will see him and think, oh, he's actually pretty decent. He's pretty decent. He's going to be immense, especially because of the fact that he starts so tanky. And that 45% when he gets a Limit Break 2, the other characters that are going to be used with him are going to be actually nuts. This is going to be crazy, honestly. Okay, so we'll check out Andre's weapon, and it is the default shotgun, so you can put whatever weapon you want in his hands. Now, it's pretty obvious he is a defense team character, and he's got 55 AP as well, so I'd stick with the normal stat weapon, HP and defense in the first 2 slots, Impair on defense in the 3rd, Elusive Impair if you can, and in the 4th slot, it's pretty much up to you. I would stick with either Tough Healing or a Daze weapon. If you've got one of the weapons in the previous few battle passes, you could choose between one of those two, and it could probably be better to go for the Daze weapon, because one of the few ways you can take this out is with basic attacks, just stacking up those basic attacks, obviously having to take out all of his teammates first, because if there's a fast character around, he's going to be continuously healed up with the fast healing. So you want to take this guy out last effectively, and then you're going to stack up the basic attacks, but he can control your signature moves to control him, and then he can get those cleanses off, potentially get revives in if you get a bit impatient or you do something wrong, So yeah, I think this is pretty interesting indeed. It's basically up to you where you want to go when it comes to the weapon, but I think the Daze, when taking critical damage, is probably the better one to go for than Tough Healing. So this is Andre, and he is pretty well-rounded. He is a pretty well-rounded character. Now, he is susceptible to the fact that he doesn't have any self-sustain when it comes to anything past bonus HP. If he is on a Tara team, that's going to be less of a problem, but it's still going to be a problem. He still needs to bring that normal HP back up. You can obviously do heal reduction on this character to make that bonus HP not as big a deal. But if he's comboed with certain characters like Davey with the continuous heal, yeah, I think Andre's actually going to be pretty nasty. He's going to be pretty nasty. And considering he's very accessible, he's going to be on a lot of defense teams as well. So he can be used on Barker defense teams, Ezekiel defense teams, Tara defense teams. I can see this guy being used quite heavily, pretty much everywhere. The combo with him and Cliff as well in the battle pass, the fact that Cliff will get the big defense boost on top. The best way to build a character like Cliff is heavy HP, so him getting a defense boost from Andre on the side is just happy days basically. Well, happy days for the defense team, not so much if you're attacking it. Do tell me what you think about Andre. He is the only real defense team character on the characters that were released in the challenge runs. We do have characters that can potentially be used on both teams, but he's primarily just a defense team character. Do you like that? Do you think it's good? I kind of like that they're releasing a defense team character in here. We don't get too many defense team characters when it comes to free to play, but he's going to work with a free to play leader, Barker, and I like that even more. Like I said, leave your thoughts in the comments down below. That is the end of my video. I want to thank you very much for tuning in, and as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.